Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. As always, my name is Shogun Shin and you are the audience, and it is Sunday with another special bonus stream because today is the fourth day for Umamusume Champions Meeting Scorpio Cup. Yesterday we had a pretty not great showing for our Group A round 2 attempts. We had a win rate of 1 out of 20. We won a single race, which was pretty not great. So I've gone back to the drawing board. We're going to go back to the triple dominator strategy that was going very well originally. I've kind of looked to see what members of our team were the weakest and where we needed to improve upon. From what I have gathered so far, we're really losing out to just skills not activating, which is really, really upsetting. So I have gone back, as well as we are losing out on a couple of stat things as well. So I have gone back. I have made actually a better Grass Wonder here. I've actually made 2 Grass Wonders, one with a little bit higher wit, but and a little bit less power and stamina and stuff like that. But so we can try these 2 out. I think this will probably be our better option just because we have such high stamina. Even though we only have like just a little bit of wit, I'm hoping that if we can get these skills to go off, that will really, really help us out. I haven't actually had a chance to throw these in the emulator yet, so I'm actually gonna do that really quickly just to kind of get a better idea as to what. How these kind of shape up. Actually, I do want to take a look right now at the Grass Wonders that we have done pretty. They've won a race each, but overall, like, it hasn't been great overall. So you kind of want to look to see what would be. This is probably our best one. So let's compare it to this Grass Wonder. Funny enough, our quote-unquote best Grass Wonder now has 1 wit higher than this one. So that is interesting. I'm hoping that also we are actually able to get on your left instead of just Slick Surge. So I'm hoping the extra gold skills will also really, really help out in comparison. But honestly, I don't know. I truly, truly don't know. It's a little bit less speed, way more stamina. I think definitely a little bit more power as well. Guts, 417 is higher guts, and then one extra point in wit, which is interesting. And this one does have moving past and beyond Metro Dober, so that's a really good skill to have as a late surger. We have Swinging Maestro, Professor Curvature, Position Pilfer. I think on your left, I'm really gonna hope that on your left is kind of what really sets us apart, honestly. We also have late surge corners, so that's a little bit extra. And then the Lone Wolf, honestly, is just kind of nice to have. So let's throw this in and see what happens. It is better, not by too much. But it is pulling ahead, which is actually interesting. It is also surviving, which is interesting. So, actually, we look at the stats here. Our new Grass Wonder has a lower win rate, technically speaking, but it is very close. 14.6, 10.7. But surprisingly, our first Grass Wonder. Our first Grass Wonder is apparently has a 97.2 survival rate versus at least our new one is definitely gonna make it. And I think that's probably a better thing to have happen. So okay. So that is that's something at least. So I think we have a better shot at making things happen. As far as Agnes Tachyon goes, I did run another pace-chasing Agnes Tachyon. That being said, I really don't like it. Has much higher wit. I just don't think it's worthwhile. But let's throw this in as well, and we'll kind of see how it fares. I haven't tested these ones out either. I've done a couple mock races with the new Tachyon, but it's been it's not that great. I'll be real here, it's not that great. But let's go with our Wave King's Agnes Tachyon, because that has been proving to be pretty decent overall. Search medium S, curvature, ramp, nimble, position, Dominator, late search straightaways, fighter, 1.5 million, late search savvy, slip, versus new Agnes Tachyon. Not as much speed, more stamina, not as much power. Definitely a lot more wit. Pulse. Curvature, swinging, ramp, paired. Medium straights, medium corners, Dominator, Ace Chaser Savvy. Let's try that. Let's see here. Yeah, it's, oh man, ouch. 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 Alright. So yeah, this pace chasing Tachyon is just getting completely dominated overall. And that's fine. That it is what it is. You have another one.
Agnes Tachyon da. Agnes Tachyon. Agnes Tachyon da. Agnes Tachyon da.
We're using this other Agnes Tachyon, or some of these other ones. We did have this one that wasn't winning, but they were getting pretty close. So let's throw this one in comparison to our late surge one, because that's actually really interesting. Professor, straightaway recovery, ramp, home stretch, paired pass, dominate, and disorient. It's much closer, but our late surger is still coming out on top more. For the most part. Yeah. Yeah. We're still... Oh, wait. Oh, interesting. What? Wait, that's interesting. Final leg, first place, 84.3 versus 3.5. And yet... positive numbers means that... Oh no, I guess our pace chasers are doing better. Because final leg, first place, 84.3%. I'm dumb. I'm an idiot. Yeah, this is doing better. Huh. Okay. Then, hold on. Then let's back up. Compare. Let's put these two pace chasers against each other. And see how that goes. Unless I'm misreading that, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what that means, is that while our late surger is faster, it's not winning. Which is interesting. Which is interesting. Pass. Medium straights. Medium corners. Dominator. Pace chaser set. Okay, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, so our first pace chaser is faster, yes, but our new pace chasing Agnes Tachyon is the one that's winning more. Weirdly enough. Okay, so yeah, that's actually really interesting. Okay, so let's run that. Let's try that out. And I think we still keep Simply Rudolph, because Simply Rudolph has still just been our most consistent Umamusume for this. So, okay, let's try that combination, see how that goes. Attempt 1 for day 4. We are already in Group B, but the objective is get 3 wins and make it into Group A. That is the goal. Alright, 579 awesome. Versus more S rates, man. There are 3 S ranks in this race. Ooh, god dang. Unfortunate, we get a late start from Simply Rudolph in the beginning of this race, but we will just have to see how exactly that will shake out as we get further on. Late surge corners for Simply Rudolph does end up activating. We get some more. All 3 of our runners are popping their stamina recovery as we enter into the midsection, but that is not the worst thing to have happen. Agnes Tachyon does get the medium straightaways, currently in 7th place, despite being a pace chaser. But that being said, there are, I believe, 3 total front runners, so that's not the worst thing in the world. But she is in the back near the late surgers, so that is a little worrying overall. Despite the late start, Simply Rudolph currently in 8th, trying to get a little bit further ahead, so that way she can get prepped for the final stretch. With Grass Wonder currently all the way in the back, but she is getting late surge corners and Professor Curvature to activate. Simply Rudolph with the outer swell, currently in 8th place, trying to accelerate in the last 600 meters here, but will it be enough? We can see the pace chasers starting to come online. The double dominator from Grass Wonder, and I believe Agnes Tachyon does end up coming out on your left from the Grass Wonder, is going to activate now, and she is accelerating, but I don't know where she is. She's just that far away, far back, and she cannot catch up to everyone else. Simply Rudolph activates the Behold Thy Net for his divine might, but our runners are so far way that it really doesn't matter, and they're not going to be able to catch up, and they've already crossed the line. Oh boy.
まだまだ上を目指さなくても
5, 6, 9. Ouch. Yeah, it's like, what do I do about this? Truly, what do I do? What do I do? Actually, what do I do? Yeah. Man, I'm shocked that these are S ranks. Like, I'm actually really shocked by that. Yeah, what do you do? What do you do? What am I, like, let me, what the fuck am I supposed to do in this situation? Guess I'll die. Like, truly. Yeah, it's like, guess I'll just die. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do in that situation. It's like, how do you beat triple S ranks? All right, Simply Rudolph, the second favorite, which is really cool. Grass Wonder number 5, Tachyon 7, not the worst thing in the world. There is another Agnes Tachyon Pace Chaser. I do actually want to know what this one is packing.
シンボリ・ルドルフ1番アグネス・タキオン1番人気です
パドックでも注目を集める素晴らしい仕上がりですね。
Interesting. Long straightaways, long corners.
構想が期待できますね。
I'm unsure how that will help, but okay, sure. All right, love getting the late start. We love to see that happen, especially as the number 2 favorite for this race. But hey, you know, we've beaten the odds before, so there's, you know, it's still up in the air. Who's to say? There's a lot of race still to have happen. Now, we did have some more runners pop Swinging Maestro a little early, so the stamina gain is not going to be nearly as beneficial, but that is not the worst thing in the world. Meanwhile, Agnes Tachyon, as our pace chaser, currently getting the ramp up to put her into second, along with the medium straightaways, is going to give her a little bit of extra speed to be right behind this Marzensky, but you do have to see this pace is actually pretty slow for this race, and the pack is very close together, with our late surgers not too far behind, actually within basically arm's length from crossing past the pack. Agnes Tachyon activates you because MA squared to give her a little bit of extra stamina, but she is having to fight against an Oguri Cap pace chaser, and that will be very challenging. Meanwhile, Simply Rudolph coming in still from the outside, activating Professor Crocher, no stopping me. The late surgers are starting to activate, and Simply Rudolph has hit the gas. It is going off. Behold, Night Emperor's Divine Might is really taking off this time. This race, it does actually matter. Simply Rudolph giving her all to try and pass everyone. She breaks through and gets in front of everyone in the last 400 meters. Grass Wonder, where there's a will, there's a way, is also going to activate, but she's currently in 8th, and she's having a difficulties catching up. Dominator does end up going out from Grass Wonder to slow the rest of the pack down, and Grass Wonder currently fighting the mirror match to try and secure second place, and Simply Rudolph, a commanding lead by 4 whole lengths, will cross the line and get first, and that is 1 win in our books. Like I said, despite the late start, we take those, baby.
唯一抜きん出て並ぶものなし
All right, good stuff. That's 1 win. Very good. Yeah, that pace was like way slower. Honestly, that was crazy. Unfortunately, yeah, we still lost against this Agnes Tachyon. We still lost. Yeah, okay. Despite those long corners, long straightaways, yeah, that other Agnes Tachyon, much better than us, that's for sure. Crazy, man. Where's my... Oh, there it is. I was like, I lost my pen. I wanted to build another Rudolph to like improve, but I'm like, Rudolph's our rate is the one that's like winning the most races. So it's like there's no point in me changing her out, you know? All right, Agnes Tachyon, the #1 favorite here. Grass Wonder 6, Rudolph is number 7. All right, very interesting predictions here. We will have to see how those shape out. Will we get another late start? We will from Simply Rudolph, but it's okay because she is the #7 favorite, so that's not all that crazy and too concerning overall. Our eyes are really going to be on Agnes Tachyon, who is the #2 favorite for this race. But will she be able to handle the expectations placed upon her? 1,600 meters left in this race, and Agnes Tachyon currently in 5th. She is going to be technically last in regards to the other pace chasers. So will she be able to activate some of her other skills? Medium straightaways does give her a little bit of extra speed, but it's not enough to catch up to the Oguri Cap just yet. Meanwhile, Grass Wonder currently in 6th, right behind our Agnes Tachyon. Will our late surgers are actually starting to come up a little bit and are getting very close to the pace chasers. Will they be able to use the pace chasers as a stepping stone in order to launch themselves out into the lead? We will just have to see. Grass Wonder activates moving past and beyond. Simply Rudolph with the Professor Curvature, and we enter the last 600 meters. Double dominator from Grass Wonder and Rudolph. No stopping me and go with the flow with Rudolph as well, trying to come in from the outside a little bit. Grass Wonder, where there's a will, there's a way, does end up activating, but she looks like she is kind of stuck behind Agnes Tachyon, but she does end up getting into 4th place. Simply Rudolph activates Thine Emperor's Divine Might, currently fighting it out, dueling with Grass Wonder and accelerating to a very high degree, but will it be enough to catch the front runners? There is a pretty good lead already, and Rudolph trying to accelerate and trying, climbing, but will it be enough? It doesn't look like it, and unfortunately Rudolph not able to close the gap to the front runners and is going to have to settle for 3rd place. That is the way the cookie crumbles for our front runner, or for our late surgers. Sometimes the front runners just have too much of a lead, and we just cannot close that gap.
一致団結していこう。
All right, Agnes Tachyon and Rudolph 8th and 9th favorite, and Grass Wonder the 7th favorite. We are the bottom 3 favorites for this race, so it doesn't look good. Our chances aren't looking the greatest for today, but we will just keep on trying. You see a nice nature. Late starts from both Grass Wonder and Simply Rudolph. Unfortunate to have that happen to us. Hopefully they will be able to try and catch up and put themselves in a better position. Meanwhile, Agnes Tachyon fighting for her life against 3 front runners and a Taiki Shuttle Pace Chaser. Agnes Tachyon actually does look like she's able to pass Amara Zensky in order to put her into 4th place, but she is having to fight for her position and her right to be in the top 3. Medium straightaways does end up activating though to get her ahead of the Silent Suzuka as well. So she just has to worry about this Taiki Shuttle and the runaway Suzuka that is currently in the lead. Meanwhile, our 2 late surgers also, once again, not too far behind the majority of the pack itself. Grass Wonder currently in 9th and Rudolph in 8th. It's not the greatest positions to be in, but once again, they are actually not too far away from everyone, and so there is a good chance at them to catch up. We round the final corner into the home stretch. So 600 meters, Agnes Tachyon is starting to drop off a little bit, and she doesn't look like she's able to do anything else. The double nominator from our late sisters does end up activating though. Will they be able to accelerate fast enough in order to catch up? They are starting to come online now. They are starting to pass the pack right now, but will it be enough in order to catch up? Cup, it looks like it is not. They have accelerated to the point where they possibly can, and unfortunately, they are not able to do anything for the rest of this race. A poor showing of 6th, 7th, and 8th. Is that Marzensky a pace chaser? Oh, the Marzensky was a pace chaser. Oh, weird. That is weird, actually. Huh. Huh. Strange.
さあ可能性を広げようじゃないか。
All right, last race for this attempt. We are the 6th, 8th, and 9th favorite. Love to see those odds. We will just skip through this race because this will not be enough for us. Despite even if we do win, this is not enough for us to get to Group A. Second, so close despite the late start. Unfortunate. Okay. Ouch. This was disappointing, to say the least. We kept dying. We kept running out of gas. This is kind of like where I was at. I do have a wild card in the form of Mesro Dober. We won't have Dominator, but we do have Tether, which is just the lesser form of Dominator. So it's like we could try this. I haven't really tried it just because this was a new addition, but honestly, fuck it. Truly, fuck it. Why not? We can try it out, see what happens. We'll try triple late surger again, and we'll do it in the form of Mesro Dober, Agnes, Simply Rudolph, and Grass Wonder. All right, we are once again the bottom 3 favorites, so love seeing that. For once, we get clean starts for all of our runners, so that is actually a very welcome sight indeed, and we will have, to see if that will be of any actual benefit to us in this race. Currently, as we enter past the 1600-meter mark, our late surgers settle in 5th, 7th, and 9th place. Murmur goes out for Simply Rudolph, trying to tax all the runners out in front, which is good to see. And with Grass Wonder currently in 6th place, fighting against Mesro Ryan, are any of our late surgers actually be able to catch up to the pace chasers and close the gap? Ramp Up ends up activating for Simply Rudolph, currently in 8th, along with the late surge corners to give her a little bit of extra speed as well. Professor Curvature for a enemy Dober is actually going to activate, but our other 2 late surgers are going to activate their curvatures as well with Grass Wonder, with the late surger corners and position pilfer. We round this last corner here, all seeing eyes from our Dober along with medium corners, but will it actually make a difference or not? On your left, Double Dominator does end up coming out, and our late surgers are starting to come online. Where there's a will, there's a way. Grass Wonder currently in 6th, dueling it out, but will she be able to get any extra speed? She's coming in from the inside, trying to fight Rendro Ryan, trying to fight some of the other pace chasers. She's caught right behind the Silent Suzuka, and unfortunately, she lets the Ryan pass her, and Grass Wonder comes in 2nd place. So close, yet so far.
皆さん行きましょう。
All right, Grass Wonder, the third favorite for today's race, along with Metro Dober, the fifth. Rudolph the eighth. It's not the worst thing in the world. At least it's a step up from being the bottom three, so there is that at the very least. We have one front runner in the form of Maruzensky, so this will be interesting to see how this pace is set. Once again, a clean start from everyone in this race, so we love to see that happen. But as late surgers, there are actually a pretty good number of them. We will have to see, will any of our runners be able to keep their positions, or will they get overtaken by some of the other late surgers? Metro Dober currently getting rushed a little bit, but staying relatively strong in fourth place at this point in time, with Simply Rudolph right behind in fifth, and Grass Wonder currently in sixth place. All three of our late surgers are duking it out from what it looks like, and so they are actually in pretty good positions overall. 1,000 meters left, and our late surgers are actually pretty close to the front of the pack overall. 800 meters left, not the worst place to be right now. Moving past and beyond from Grass Wonder does end up activating to give her a little bit of extra edge, but will it be enough? 600 meters left. Shooting for victory from Dober is going to activate to try and give her some extra speed. One dominator for Grass Wonder ends up going out. On your left also goes out. Second dominator from Simberly Rudolph. Will any of our late surgers be able to catch up and be able to close this race out? It will be a real test to see. We are nearing the last 200 meters where there's a will, there's a way. Grass Wonder trying to do what you can. Passes, just barely isn't able to pass Metro Dober, and unfortunately, I don't think we make it onto the board on that one. 4th, 5th, 7th. Ouch.
一致団結していこう。
Who won? Let's rush shower. Alright, despite being in a great mood, Simply Rudolph, 8th favorite, Dober being the 6th favorite, in a normal mood. Oof, big oof, man. That is not good, honestly. That's real problematic. Once again, clean starts from all of our racers for today. The early race does seem to be pretty decent overall. We do have two front runners fight duking it out, so it will be interesting to see how exactly that will set the pace for this race overall. From what it looks like, the pace itself is going to be pretty rough for our late surgers, but not the most impossible thing to close the gap. It just will be very, very difficult. It's on from Metro Dober. Will end up activating currently in 7th place. All three of our runners currently in the back pack right now, so that is not the greatest position to be, but you actually can see the pace slowing down as we get closer to the late race itself. 800 meters left. Despite being in the bottom three, all three of our runners are actually pretty okay in position as well. Not the worst way to try and catch up. One dominator from Grass Wonder ends up going out, which allows Dober to try and sneak in on the inside, but Grass Wonder trying to find her line in order to pass everyone. All-seeing eyes from Dober along with the tether is going to slow down the rest of the pack, and the dominator from Twimbly Rudolph. This is our team firing on all cylinders, but will it be enough to hold the lead? Grass Wonder currently in the lead. There's only 200 meters left. The Manhattan Cafe is going to be pulling up ahead, and unfortunately Grass Wonder, no! Not able to hold on to the lead. And it's stolen by Manhattan Cafe. Damn it, man. Fuck. Damn it. F me, man. So close. So close. Ugh.
皆さん行きましょう。
Was that the... Hold on.
一致団結し
That
てい
was
こ
the
う。
last. That was the third race. Okay. This is just, we're just moving on. The 7, 8, and...
精一杯頑張ろうね。 3番シンボリルドルフ。
次今目白どう
私だって上に。トレーナーさんありがとうございました。
Ouch. Shut out.
出
Ooh.
走登録するウマ娘を
Okay.
3人選んでください。 メジロドーベルです。そのよろしく。アグネスタキオンだ。私スコーピオ杯クラスワンダー参ります。5レースを走ります。
Let's try... Triple wait. Go back to our way of kings, Agnes Tachyon. Keep this new Grass Wonder that we have. Agnes Tachyon, the second favorite. Cool. With Sympathy Rudolph 6 and Grass Wonder is the 7th. Good chunk of front runners in this race, so we will have to see if that pace for the race itself is going to be brutal or not. You love to see the second favorite get a late start out of the gate. That's just the way it goes, but hey, you know, we've had good luck with late starts before, so we'll have to see how this all will shape out overall. Agnes Tachyon getting the fighter to activate along with some other handful of skills from everyone else. 1,400 meters left in this race overall. Agnes Tachyon currently in ninth, really struggling because of that late start, but Simply Rudolph and Grass Wonder not too far ahead as well, currently holding strong in 6th and 7th place. Will they be able to catch up to the pace chasers and use them as a springboard for this race? Simply Rudolph actually passing Grass Wonder. Is right behind currently right behind 5th place, in the form of Silent Suzuko. Will she be able to use that to her advantage? Late surge corner does end up activating to give a little bit of extra speed. 600 meters left in this race itself. One dominating from Grass Wonder goes out. On your left from Grass Wonder, currently in 6th place. Rudolph currently in 4th and is accelerating to a pretty decent degree. Grass Wonder activates, but there's a will, there's a way. Will it be enough? Simply Rudolph is still steadily accelerating. Will she be able to pass the pack and be able to catch up to the front runners here, or will she burn out, and will there be enough time? Unfortunately, there is not enough time. Simply Rudolph comes in 3rd place. Just not enough to close the gap with a few more. Just if the race was just a little bit longer, she probably would have made it, but unfortunately settling for 3rd is gonna have to be what we do. Alright, Agnes Tachyon once again the 2nd favorite. Simply Rudolph 5. Grass Wonder number 7. Not the worst thing in the world. Hopefully Tachyon won't get another late start to kind of hinder her chances. Alright, the late start goes to Simply Rudolph this time. Unfortunate to see, but surprising twist of events. Grass Wonder gets the lone wolf buff, so that's actually pretty cool and exciting to see. On top of the late start from Simply Rudolph, she's also going to get rushed as well, so that is a really unfortunate thing to see overall. But hey, you know, that is what it is. And we're just gonna have to, this is the world we live in, so we're just gonna have to live with it. As far as the pace for this race goes, it is pretty brutal, I won't lie. You can see this runaway Suzuko all the way out in front, and the journey between where we are and that Suzuka is pretty far indeed. You can even see the Mahono Bourbon is having difficulties catching up, but is slowly starting to close that gap. U equals MA squared from Tachyon does end up activating to give a little bit of extra stamina. Currently in 3rd place, and Agnes Tachyon doing a really good job at trying to set herself up to be in a good enough position in order to accelerate and close the gap. It's for this race. 600 meters left, so we now enter the late race. Dominator goes out for Simply Rudolph. Professor Curvature and late surge corners for Rudolph and Grass Wonder do end up activating to try and get a little bit of extra speed and as much of an edge as possible. Grass Wonder, or Tachyon, currently still accelerating, trying to catch up to the front runners, and is just right behind, but doesn't look like she's able to catch up with enough time, and unfortunately going to once again settle for 3rd place. Just not enough to catch up to the front runners, just barely out of our grasp. Just barely. Damn.
皆さん、行きましょう。
All right, this race, Agnes Tachyon, the #1 favorite, Rudolph is number 4. Grass Wanderer is still number 7. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it is what it is. Two of our runners. This is a pretty good race for us. But will it be the one where we win? That is going to be a very great question. A late start from Grass Wonder. Unfortunate to see. There are a lot of front runners in this race, so the pace will be a little intense. But I have a feeling that by the time we get to the end, it will shrink by a considerable margin. 1600 meters, we passed the 1600 meter mark, and we do see the stamina recovery start to come out for our late surgers. Currently, Tachyon in 5th place, followed by Grass Wonder and Rudolph. All 3 of our late surgers are pretty close together, not too far behind the Oguri Cap Pace Chaser, but will they be able to close the distance? Agnes Tachyon pops 3 skills in order to get a little bit of extra speed in the last 1,000 meters, and she is right behind Oguri Cap, who is serving as the pace chaser. But you do see the front runners are still a pretty good distance ahead of everyone else. Professor Curvature ends up activating for Agnes Tachyon to put her right behind Oguri Cap, along with a Nimble Gavigator. 2 Dominators come out this time for our team. Agnes Tachyon is starting to accelerate. She has found the line, and she is actually passing Oguri Cap. She's already also passed the 2 other front runners in the form of Marzensky and Saiyan Sky. Agnes Tachyon doing very strong and actually is starting to catch up to Suzuka. There's only 200 meters left, and Agnes Tachyon does end up putting herself in the lead, and it looks like this will be the race that we win. That is a win for us, and that puts us on the board. There is no shutout for this attempt, but we still need to win 2 more in order to get into Group A. Will we be able to do it? Will we fall flat on our face? That is going to be the question of the day. We have doubled our wins from yesterday, so that's good. Good news is we've doubled the wins from yesterday. Bad news is we still need to win 2 more in order to get into the Group A finals. Will we be able to do it? Alright, 6th, 7th, 8th favorite. I do see an S rank Agnes Tachyon in this race, so my hopes are not very high, I will admit. Late start from Grass Wonder, love to see that.
誰が先頭に抜け出すか注目しましょう。
1番サイレンス鈴鹿と2番サイレンス鈴鹿、この2人が競り合っているぞ。8番アグネスタキオ、落ち着かない様子、期待通りの結果を出せるか。1番人気8番アグネスタキオ、先頭行ったのは2番サイレンス鈴鹿。
So we can see in the front here, we have Silent Suzuka mirror match going on with Marzensky currently all the way back. Agnes Tachyon getting rushed just a little bit, but is holding strong in 6th place, with Rudolph followed in 7th and Grass Wonder in 8th. You can see 3 pace chasers all the way huddled in the middle here. Will any of our late surges be able to close the distance and be able to catch this Silent Suzuka front runner who is currently all the way out in front? That is still a very considerable lead as we get closer to the late race. 800 meters left, and the lead that Suzuka has generated is very intense indeed. I'm even wondering if the pace chasers will be able to catch up to her or not. Dominator does end up going out for Grass Wonder. Simply Rudolph with Professor Curvature, and you actually can see the Marzensky catching, actually coming in very, very quickly, and you actually, whoa, you can see all the runners actually starting to kick things into high gear. This could actually be anyone's race right now, but Marzensky's still all the way out in front. So now the challenge is who can catch Marzensky in the last 400 meters of this race. The Emperor's Divine Might does end up activating. Marzensky is just so far ahead still. Agnes Tachyon is trying to catch up. Marzensky's still looking great. Agnes Tachyon, will she be able to do it? No, she cannot. with maybe just a few hundred meters left, Agnatakia might have been able to close it out, but unfortunately, that's going to be the final nail in this coffin for this attempt, and Agnatakia just almost so close comes in second place. Unfortunate to see. Fourth, fifth, sixth. We were the first favorite. We were the number one favorite for that race. That was unfortunate.
トレーナーさん、ありがとうございました。出走登録する馬娘を3人選んでください。クラスワンダー、参ります。クラスワンダー、決定するとクラスワンダー、参ります。5レースを走ります。クラスワンダー、参ります。決定すると次のエントリーを。さあ実験開始だよ。
Alright, this is our last attempt at in order to get into Group A finals. If we cannot get 3 wins here, we have to just settle for Group B, unfortunately. So this is do or die now. Late start from Simply Rudolph, unfortunate to see. I do see a gold chip here, and I believe in the form of an end closer, so that actually will be really interesting. Will we get clapped back by an end closer in this race, or will this just end up going to the pace chasers instead? Murmur ends up going out from Simply Rudolph. We do have a nice nature all the way in the back, but I believe she is serving as a debuffer for this race, so I am not all that concerned overall with them. Pace for this race is actually fairly slow for the most part. We're already at the 1200 meter mark, and you actually can see this, you can actually see everyone pretty close together overall, so this is actually really interesting. We do have a very good chance at accelerating and overtaking in this race. Agnatakia activates Yuko's MA squared to get some extra stamina, and the Professor Curvature is actually going to put her all the way into the top 3 as we get ready to round the final corner. Professor Curvature from our 2 other late surges does end up going out, and they are going to be sticking to the inside rail. Mayano Top Gun currently in the lead, but Agnatakia is all the way in first. No stopping me from Simply Rudolph, along with Emperor's Divine Might does end up activating pretty early in this late race due to the fact that the pack is so close together. Agnatakia currently in 4th place, Grass Wonder in 2nd, and coming in from the outside, and is actually going to end up be passing the Mayano Top Gun. Simply Rudolph will also do the same, and it looks like Grass Wonder currently in the lead is going to be fighting for top 3 slot. Will it be enough? Agnatakia coming in from the outside, getting 2nd, but that is 1st and 2nd place going to our team. And so for the first race of this last attempt, that is 1 win on the board. 4 more races to go. And we need to win 2 of them. Will we be able to do it? Was that Grass Wonder right? Okay. I was like, I want to make sure I know who wins. 5, 7, and 8.
7番人気はあいにくさあゲートが開いた
Get a late start from Grass Wonder. Unfortunate to see, but at this point, late starts are actually a blessing in disguise for us, given our current track record overall.
日本のブルボン単身で飛ばしていきます。先頭から大きく離されて2番手は9番オグリキャップ
Late surge corners comes out early on, along with the corner recovery from Simply Rudolph and the straightaway recovery. Simply Rudolph really popping everything all at once for this race, and so it will be really interesting to see how everything will shape out in this race overall. Currently, all 3 of our runners close to the bottom 3 of the pack, but similar to last race, this pace is actually fairly slow, and you can actually see all the runners pretty close together as we get closer and closer to the late stage of the race. Rudolph currently in 5th, followed by Agnes Tachyon in 6th place. Grass Wonder really struggling because of the late start all the way in 9th. But once again, it could be anyone's race overall. Die with Scarlet in the lead is not that far ahead. We round the final corner, 600 meters in the left in this race. U equals MA squared for Agnes Tachyon does give her a little bit of extra stamina, who is currently going to be accelerating to a very high degree all the way into 1st place. She breaks out of the pack. Where there's a will, there's a way from Grass Wonder, along with the Dominator for Simply Rudolph. Will, along with another Dominator from Grass Wonder to slow everyone down. Simply Rudolph expresses Thine Emperor's divine might, but Agnes Tachyon still currently in the lead, still catching up to Die with Scarlet. Will it be enough of an edge? Agnes Tachyon duels it out with Die with Scarlet, but will she be the one to come out on top? There's 200 meters left, and Die with Scarlet's putting on pressure, but Agnes Tachyon is looking very, very good, and Agnes Tachyon holds the lead, and that's 2 wins. Can we get a 3rd?
力をいかなく発揮しレースを制した。勝ったのはアグネスタキオン。ライバルに打ち勝ちこれが研究の成果さ。さあ実験開
That's
始だよ。
2 wins in the book. 3 more races to go. Can we get a 3rd? Five, 7, 8th favorite for us today. I do see an S-rank Tokai tail, but there is no front runner for this race. How will that affect the pace for all our runners today? And will that be a benefit for us in order to close the distance and be able to pass everyone else in this pack when we get to the late stage? Early on in this race, Simply Rudolph does end up getting a late start, which is unfortunate to see, so she is going to be trailing a little bit further behind everyone for the beginning of the race itself. This is, remember, this is do or die. This is our last attempt. These are our last 3 races in order to get 1 more win and to get into the Group A finals. Our late surgers in the form of Tachyon and Grass Wonder currently right behind and right in the middle of the pack for the most part in 6th and 7th. Simply Rudolph still trailing behind in 9th place is not the greatest position to be, but 1,000 meter the pace is very slow, and our late surgers are in a very, very good position in order to accelerate and get past everyone for this race. Position Pilgrim from Grass Wonder is going to activate near right before we enter the late stage, and Simply Rudolph does get the pressure curvature. Late surge and TLI and late surge corners. We round the final corner. 600 meters left. Dominator from Simply Rudolph ends up coming out. Our late surgers are going to be going from the pretty far from the outside, so that is going to be even more track that they're going to have to cover in order to catch up to the pace chasers, but will they be able to do it? Simply Rudolph activates the whole Thine Emperor's divine might, but she is currently in about 6th or 7th place. Will it be enough to get ahead of the pack? Marjorie McQueen currently in the lead. Agnes Hackett coming in from the outside, trying to pass the pace chasers. The late surgers simply cannot close the gap fast enough, and unfortunately, we do not. Best we can come is 4th place. Our runners really suffered coming in around that corner. They really went all the way out, and they did not have to, unfortunately. But that is only one loss out of the out of 3 races. We still have 2 more chances in order to get into Group A finals. We just need 1 more win. Agnes Tachyon, the 3rd favorite. Timothy Rudolph, the 6th. Grass Wonder, the 8th. Agnes Tachyon also in a great mood. Things are looking pretty decent for us overall, but will it be enough in order to get that win that we need to get into Group A? Agnes Tachyon does end up getting a late start, and I do want to point out, just because it might matter, there is a Gold Ship end closer. Gold Ship being a very notorious victory thief, especially as an end closer. So this race will actually be very interesting as we get into the very end of this race. Despite the late start, though, Agnes Tachyon currently in 6th place, leading the late surgers, leading the back of the pack, I should say, in the form of our late surgers and the end closer that is present currently. Agnes Tachyon currently is actually right behind the pace chasers, so this pace for the race itself is not too fast, but it is much faster in comparison to all the other races that we have run in this attempt. 1,000 meters left overall. Grass Wonder and Timothy Rudolph currently in 7th and 8th, trying to keep this Gold Ship at bay to allow Tachyon to try and jump ahead of these other pace chasers. Remember, ends up going out to tax all the runners in the lead. Go with the flow ends up activating along with the no stopping me from Rudolph, but she's currently in last. She does end up passing to trigger Thine Emperor's Divine Might in the final corner. She's kind of far away, but it's not the worst place to be. There is still a lot of ground to recover, and Simply Rudolph has hit the gas. Dominator comes out from Grass Wonder to try and slow everyone else down. Where there's a will, there's a way. Grass Wonder wants this win. Simply Rudolph wants this win. Agnes Tachyon is dueling it out, and she wants this win. Will we see a victory here? Simply Rudolph is ahead by 2 whole lengths. Our lane searchers have come online and crossed the line. That is 3 wins. We make it to Group A. The dream goes on for Team Domination. First, second, and 4th place. That is 3 wins in the book. Welcome, Team Domination, to Group A Finals. Woo! That was race number 4. We got 1 more race to go. Can we go for 4 wins? We'll watch this out. This is the victory lap. Let's make it a good one, folks. All right, Grass Wonder in a great mood. The number 3 favorite, Simply Rudolph, number 4. Agnes Tachyon in number 5. Not bad placements for this last race. But will it be enough? I see a Maruzensky and a Side and Suzuka front runners, so that will affect the pace just a little bit. I also see a Nice Nature all the way in the back, who I am going to have to assume is a debuffer. Simply Rudolph going to be rushed just a little bit early on. Not the worst thing in the world, considering that we do have a decent amount of stamina recovery skills, 2 stamina recovery skills, I should say, to alleviate that, so it's not the most concerning thing. She also did not get a late start. All of our runners were clean out of the gate, so things could be worse, honestly, overall in this race. Silent Suzuka still all the way out in front with the runaway strategy, with Maruzensky not too far behind, and you can see the pack is pretty pretty close together overall. Agnes Tachyon holding very strong in 4th place, right behind one of the pace chasers, which is actually pretty decent, with Simply Rudolph and Grass Wonder currently in 7th and 8th. U equals MA squared does give Agnes Tachyon some more stamina to burn through as we get closer to the end of the race itself. Professor Curvature actually ends up activating to give her a slight edge against the Taiki Shuttle, but is going to be countered by the Speedstar as we round the final corner. Agnes Tachyon's coming in from the outside is going to actually be a bit of a hindrance for her, because you can see the Taiki Shuttle Pace Chaser coming online already, and there we have even more ground, unfortunately, that we are going to have to cover. Go with the flow from Simply Rudolph is going to end up activating, but it looks like none of our runners are going to be able to close this gap. We simply, unfortunately, we took way too wide of a turn in this race, and it's going to look like our Agnes Tachyon is going to be coming in 3rd place for this race. Not a bad turnout, but unfortunate to see nonetheless. Alright. Oh, 3 wins. We make it to Group A finals. The dream goes on. Ooh, what a nail-biting, what a nail-biter, truly. What an absolute nail-biter. On the last attempt, we are able to secure 3 wins in order to get into Group A finals. And I think, honestly, I think for our finals, our team is going to be Simply Rudolph, Agnes Tachyon, and I believe it will be it'll be our team player, 13.3 Grass Wonder. I think that triple Late Searcher, triple Dominator, that will be our final team for the final round. Come on, I believe Tuesday is the final race, so we will do that. On that note, guys, that is it for me tonight. Thank you so much for coming out to the stream. I will see you guys back here tomorrow for our regularly scheduled programming, in the form of I really don't know what, actually. So we will pick things up there. Finals for Umamusume will be on Tuesday, so we'll run through all of that before we dive into Savage. Actually, Savage drops on Tuesday, so we'll be doing week 1 grinding for Savage starting Tuesday, so we'll be doing that. But as always, though, my name is Shogun Shin, you the audience, and I will see you guys next time.